David Beckham's supplement brand IM8 hit $200 million a year in just 19 months. Then last week, a $1 billion deal showed up to pay for its ads, without the company selling a single share. If the math behind that powder is wrong, the whole billion falls apart. But where did the deal come from? And who really pays for those ads? The answer changes how you should see every supplement on the shelf, including the one you might already buy. Because the press called this a $1 billion raise, and that is not what it is. Nobody raised $1 billion. The company handed over no ownership at all. What really happened is stranger, and once you see the shape of it, you will start to look at the supplement on your own kitchen shelf a little differently. To understand that billion, you have to meet the man who built the machine and the strange spot he was standing in. His name is Danny Young. Back in 2014, he started a company called Prenetics that tested people for diseases. Then the pandemic hit, and overnight, the whole world needed tests. Prenetics sold about $800 million of them. It went public on the NASDAQ stock market, worth more than $1 billion, and Young looked like a genius. Then the pandemic ended, people stopped buying tests, and almost overnight, the one thing that had made all of that money simply went away. What Young had left was odd. A public company with a stock price, a factory, staff, and nothing real to sell. It was a shell with the lights still on. Most people in that spot wind the company down and walk away. He decided to build something new inside it instead. The only question was what? The answer came at a dinner in London. Through his network, Young ended up across the table from David Beckham. Beckham was not looking to slap his name on a random product, but Young had spent more than a decade in health and science, and the two of them started asking what they could build together. What they landed on was a daily health powder you mix into water. They called it IM8. Now, here is the hard truth about selling supplements. The powder is not the hard part. Plenty of companies can make a good one. The real war is won on marketing, and whoever can afford to buy the most attention for the longest stretch of time is almost always the one who ends up winning. The clearest example is a brand called AG1, once known as Athletic Greens. AG1 grew into a business worth around $600 million a year, but it took them roughly 15 years, a wall of celebrity backers, and a fortune spent on ads to get there. That is the mountain standing in front of anyone new. So how do you climb a 15-year mountain when you are starting from a company that just lost its only product? IM8 launched in November 2024, and then it did something that should not be possible. In its first 11 months, it was already selling at a pace of $100 million a year. By 19 months, that pace had crossed $200 million. The company says it now ships an order every 27 seconds. This past June was its biggest month yet, around $17 million in 1 month. Remember, AG1 needed about 15 years to build its business. Beckham's powder got most of the way there in under 2. But growth that fast hides an ugly bill. To sell at that speed, you have to spend huge money on ads long before those new buyers ever pay you back. And there are really only 2 ways to cover a bill like that. You burn through your own cash until it runs low, or you sell off pieces of your company to raise more. Both hurt. And this is the exact spot where the billion-dollar deal walks in. So where did the ad money really come from? Everything I have told you so far is the public story. A famous face, a fast brand, a lot of ads. The paperwork tells a different one. On the 14th of July, a large investment fund called General Catalyst agreed to put in $1 billion. But it did not buy any part of the company, not 1 share of stock. In exchange, IM8 agreed to something most people would never notice, to hand that fund a permanent cut of its own future buyers. So how does a fund get paid out of buyers instead of out of stock? The deal is called a customer value fund. Strip away the name, and the idea is simple. Every month, IM8 wants to spend money on ads to bring in new buyers. Instead of paying that whole bill by itself, IM8 lets General Catalyst cover up to 70% of it. The fund is really buying that month's fresh batch of buyers. Then, repayment works in a way you rarely see. General Catalyst only earns money back from the exact buyers it helped pay to bring in. As those people reorder their powder, a slice of what they spend flows to the fund. Once the fund has earned back what it put in, plus a fixed and capped profit on top, it stops taking its cut. And from that point on, every single dollar those same buyers spend belongs to IM8 for good. We're a film studio that lets an outside backer pay to advertise one movie. The backer collects a share of that one film's ticket sales until they are paid back, and they never own a piece of the studio itself. There is no loan to default on here, no deadline, no bank rules to break. If those buyers turn out to be worth less than expected, that is mostly the fund's problem, not IM8's. So why would a serious fund ever take that bet? Because of one number. IM8 says that for every single dollar it has spent bringing in a customer, it has already earned back $1.44 in gross profit. If that holds across the board, then spending on ads is not really a cost. It is closer to owning a machine that hands back a little more money than you feed into it. The fund's partner on the deal, a man named Adit Swaroop, says IM8's buyers stick around at rates that set new records for the whole industry. That is why the fund is happy to write the check. People buy the powder. Then they keep buying it, month after month. But look closely at where that number comes from. It comes from IM8 itself. No outside auditor has stood up and confirmed it for the rest of us, and it is blended across the company's most established buyers, the ones most likely to look good. So what happens if the real picture is messier than $1.44? Remember that IM8 gave up not a single share. That sounds like pure good news, and in one way it is, because the founders keep all of their ownership. But that same fact carries a cost hidden inside it. Since it is not ownership, the accountants cannot call this money an investment. They have to call it something the company owes. On the financial statements, the fund's capped profit shows up as interest, the same line you would see on a bank loan. So the money that looked free is really shaped like debt. Flexible, patient debt, but debt all the same. And here is who pays it back. Not Beckham, not the fund, you. Every time one of those financed buyers reorders a tub of powder, part of that payment walks straight back to General Catalyst. The powder sitting on a kitchen counter is quietly a financial product. The customer thinks they are just buying vitamins. They are also, without ever knowing it, paying off the bill for the ad that sold them those vitamins in the first place. So in the end, who is really funding all of this? So let's put the whole machine together. IM8 wants to grow fast, which means spending huge money on ads. General Catalyst fronts up to 70% of that money. Your future reorders slowly pay it back. IM8 gives up no ownership, and once the fund reaches its capped profit, every dollar after that stays with IM8. Say those buyers really are worth $1.44 for every dollar spent. Then this is close to a perfect engine. The company grows faster than its own cash ever could, and it never has to sell a piece of itself to do it. The $200 million business you heard about at the start is really this engine humming underneath. But the whole thing is bolted to one bet, that people keep reordering. If those buyers quit faster than the models expect, then it is the fund that loses money on them, not IM8 directly. And that is the truly clever part of the whole design. Except the very same retention math is now holding up everything else. It is why the company was confident enough to raise the sales targets it hands investors this year. It is why that billion-dollar facility exists at all. Take away the assumption that people keep reordering, and the whole story, the deal, the guidance, the run rate, is suddenly standing on one leg. Which brings us right back to that shelf. At the start, I told you $1 billion showed up to pay for Beckham's ads. Now you know it was not a gift, and it was not a normal loan. It was a bet on you, on the idea that once the powder is in your kitchen, you will not stop buying it. The most interesting thing about IM8 was never the celebrity on the label. It is that a monthly supplement habit has been turned into something Wall Street can finance. It gets treated the same way as a building or a fleet of trucks. That is the thread I pull on this channel, one company at a time, showing how the money really works underneath the headline. Beckham's powder is just the clearest example yet. There are others already lined up. So stick around and I will show you the next one.